Welcome to my plant channel. My name is Paula and my hobby is plants. I have a lot of house plants and I also have another YouTube channel that is all about our low carb lifestyle, and I get questions over there all the time if I could please talk about my plants, show my plants. Most of my time gets devoted to my other channel, Low Carb Revelation. You can go over there if you want to see how I lost weight. I had debilitating migraines, joint pain, just a lot of different things. And my health has completely turned around since I've been eating a low carb diet. So that channel will be linked down below if you want to go and check that out. A lot of my viewers over there want to see me play with plants. And so I decided, since this channel has been kind of neglected, to turn this into my plant hobby channel. And I don't know everything there is to know about plants. I'm a hobbyist, just enjoy having my plants around me. I love caring for them. I love getting my hands in dirt. And so this is just a hobby for me. So make sure you know that. I may do things that are completely wrong here on this channel, but my plants are thriving, and so I must be doing something right. So I have this Easter cactus, and there's a story behind this Easter cactus. I got it for free from a lady on Facebook Marketplace. She was moving out of her house into a smaller condo. I have room to take her plants with her. I have several of her plants here in this house that she was gonna throw away. I ended up taking them on. She had told me that this cactus was really old. She couldn't remember exactly, but she said at least 20 years. And so it was a lot bigger when I got it. It was a lot healthier looking when I got it, but it was here at this house that we did not at the time live here permanently at. We live here permanently now. And we would only get up here every few weeks. And that's when I would take care of my plants that were here at the house. The heat was turned down really low. It would get really cold. We're in northern Michigan. It would get really cold in the house. And I was always worried about the plants not making it, but the plants that I got from her that were here at this house are true survivors. And this is one of them. At different times, it's lost leaves, like when it was really cold and it wasn't getting a lot of heat and water and all the things. Husband was building a fireplace here in the house, and this was on a stand nearby, and it got knocked over, and it was in a beautiful ceramic pot that it had been in for years, and the pot broke. And so I immediately went out to the garage and got a planter, a big planter. It was the only thing I had. It's a plastic planter. It was the only thing I could grab. And I just took it out of the pot and plopped it right down in here. And it has been in here ever since. But I want it to be in a smaller pot. Now this might look crazy putting it into this little pot like this. I'm gonna actually divide this plant, and whatever doesn't fit in here, I'm gonna start another pot. I had someone ask me what I do with the soil when I'm transplanting my plants. So I just reuse the soil if there's nothing wrong with the plant, if it doesn't have a fungus or some kind of disease or bugs or something like that. I feed my plants regularly. I'll show you my plant food in one of my videos that I use. I don't really worry about the soil nutrients being depleted because they're doing well. My plants do really well. So I just kind of recycle the soil if it's in okay condition. This little tarp thing comes in so handy. I got this off of Amazon. It was under 10 bucks, and it snaps and stands up. And then when you're done with it, you can flatten it down and fold it up and put it away. And it is so nice to have when you are working in the house and repotting things that you don't want to get dirt all over the house, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull this plant out. And I don't worry if things don't come out in one piece. Like, I don't freak out because plants are resilient, and as long as you get a good amount of roots and you put them back in the dirt and you feed them and you nurture them, they're gonna come back. So I'm just not really nervous when it comes to that. But this is a big heavy pot. I'm gonna kind of dump it on the side. And you can see here that this is already coming apart into sections. So I'm gonna take some dirt, fill it into this pot, and get as many of these plantlings into here as I can. It may be just this, I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna pull this out. So you can see the roots are not very long on this plant. It does not need this really deep pot. Look at that, it doesn't need to be in there. And that's why it's not getting bushy, because it just doesn't need a pot this deep. But in an emergency, I went ahead and grabbed whatever I could. So I'm gonna mix up this soil in here. This soil still looks pretty good and pretty rich. This is a cactus soil. It's one that doesn't hold a whole lot of moisture. You want that for your cactuses because you don't want them to stay wet. You want them to dry out pretty quickly. I do have some rocks in here. There may be rocks. That's probably what I did. Yeah, that's what I did. I filled the pot half full of rocks, and that way I could save on how much soil that I could put in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer some of the soil over to this pot. I'm gonna get it to maybe about 3/4 of the way full. Form a little hole in the center. And I'm gonna plop this guy down in here. I'm gonna look at the roots and make sure that it looks pretty good. Nothing looks rotten or soggy or anything like that. And I'm just gonna very lovingly put this plant down into this pot, and I'm gonna pull off some of the deadness. Now, I think this is gonna be enough for this pot. Isn't that gonna be pretty in that smaller pot? I'm just gonna take some dirt, lift up the edges, and then just fill in the sides where it needs to be filled. I have a lot of little nice handy dandy plant tools, but I just use my hands usually. I have a nice little scoop that I can use to scoop up the soil, but I like getting my hands in the dirt. Right in the center. Pat it down. Looks so much better in this smaller pot already. And I'm just gonna wipe it down, make sure it's nice and clean, and put some water on here and go put it over in the sunshine, and it's gonna do great. I have a couple of other little pieces here that are left over that I'm gonna put in a smaller pot. I'm not gonna get rid of this. This is a whole nother plant. So I'm gonna do that. I gotta find a pot that's appropriate for that. All right, that is my plant video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you soon. God bless.